6:45 p.m. This is our regularly scheduled meeting. We'd like to welcome everyone, and at this time we will stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, review of the agenda, followed by adoption of the agenda. If anybody has any additions, subtractions, changes? Okay. Would you like to make a motion, Andrew?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll say.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of minutes for April 17th, special virtual meeting, May 15th, special meeting, May 28th, special meeting, May 28th, regular meeting, and May 30th, special meeting. Was everything is here? Okay. So we can do them all together.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Clark County Public School recognitions. I'm Miss Christy Bush. Usually has your name highlighted right there for me.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to recognize some outstanding students and very, very talented young men and young women that we have in our school system. Tonight we will begin with our boys and girls tennis champions. This evening we have our coaches, Coach Prater and Coach Hines. Along with Cindy, Miss Ella Grace, and Miss Carly. If you would please come up as well. These three ladies were the 2024 tennis regional champions for the third year in a row. Where they advanced to the round, you'll have to explain this, Miss Rebecca, to me, of 32 in the state or at the state.
Yeah, so yeah, repeat region champs, and our Cassie and Madeline aren't here next round. There are two that our girls team made the elite eight in the state tournament, so they're kind of a big
Congratulations, ladies.
Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations, moms and dads.
This evening, we have Coach Hudson with us. You want to come on up from our volleyball. We have girls that are in Orlando, Florida right now in the National Volleyball Championship. The coach, the season this year was 25-6. So we want to give him a round of applause for his. Very talented young ladies, and good luck in Florida. He just got back
I did this
himself.
one.
This evening, we would like to have Heidi Castle come up. She is a 4-H state fashionista. She is at the state level. We will see her going places with her fashion ability.
We'll be fine. She's also the smoke signals and on the superintendent advisory council.
This evening, we'd also like to recognize our track team. We have Coach Yeast and Coach Graham with us this evening, if they would please come up. We have Landon Perdo, Liam Perdo, and Miss Michelle Smith. Michelle! relays to triple jump, shot put, 11 students that set records.
Here we go. Michelle.
And since we're bragging, we had 4 state champions too, so.
Four state champions.
4 state champions.
Thank you very much for your time.
What's that?
What is it?
What's what? What, the state champions?
No, the last time that we're gonna see him here, because he's moving on late, so.
Playing her to ours last night, he's so cute.
I agree he is.
Hey, wait, she made me do it now. Thank you guys, congratulations. Very proud of you. Gigantic go karts.
So one of them is on my Michelle. Oh, she's showing you that there's no public comment.
No, no, thank you.
All right, no public comments. Student Learning and Instructional Services, Mr. Brandon Watkins. I was having to pull it up here, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm a little behind.
No problem. So, Ms. Fithen presented this at the May board meeting for the second read. This would be the second reading for the promotion and retention policy and procedure, the board policies. The only change was, as Ms. Hall had requested, that parent be changed to parent/legal guardian. So everything else is the same on that.
Any other questions, comments?
I think, do we need to make a
Yeah.
motion to approve?
Mhm.
The second reading of promotion and retention policy 8.22. Did you do both of them? Are they
Yeah.
both that and
Procedure.
retention procedures? 8.22.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Hall,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of establishing a non-designated fund with Bluegrass Community Foundation.
This
Yes,
Dr.
speaker.
Lindsay.
this is
Harris.
exciting, by the way.
Yes, yes. So this is Miss Haley Cunningham. She is with the Bluegrass Community Foundation. She's here to answer questions about this, but really, in a nutshell, this is so that we can more easily accept donations from the community in lots of forms other than cash, which I didn't know was a thing until we spoke with her. And it would be housed within the umbrella of the Bluegrass Community Foundation.
Are there other school systems that do something similar?
So we actually work with Paris Independent Schools as well as Fayette County. We house the Fayette County Public Education Foundation.
There are lots of grants that require a charitable organization status in order to
Yes.
apply for them, which is why we started to explore our options with this.
I don't see any negatives. That's all I'm gonna
That's
say.
kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to explain it just a little bit for everybody to kind of.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So just some background on the Community Foundation. So Bluegrass Community Foundation started in 1967, and we've been serving Central and Appalachia, Kentucky since then. So we house about 900 different funds like this that have been opened either by individuals, nonprofits, businesses, to really help grow and organize charitable giving. And we also work directly with our affiliate here, the Clark County Community Foundation, which has been a partner and supporter of Clark County Public Schools since we started in 1998. And so essentially, we work as a charitable bank. So we house these individual funds. We help take in the donations because we are a federal 501c3 nonprofit. So we provide all of the appropriate tax acknowledgments. You have options for investing these funds. And then when you're ready to carry on different projects within the school system, you reach out to us and we send you a check. We also work to help create an online giving platform so that you can share this out with all of the constituents, alumni, current families of Clark County Public Schools so that they can donate via credit card. And we take a lot of non-cash assets, so individuals who might want to give with stock. We take real estate. We could work with donors, particularly with groups like Retired Teachers Association, on estate giving, and people who want to give larger gifts to support the school system in general through their estate plans. So this just opens up a lot of opportunities to help further engage the community and to take off the administrative burden on the public school system from acknowledging and managing those gifts.
Which Ms. Ellis said she would greatly appreciate.
So, with the fees, do we fall in multiple sections of the fund types, or is there one specific fund that we would?
So this is a non-endowed designated fund, so it has a 1% annual community support fee. So as contributions come in, we will take 1% of that, and that covers all of our back-end work in terms of managing the fund.
Additionally, and correct me if I'm wrong, but additionally, they handle a lot of the reporting requirements, which are super heavy, especially when we get up into federal grants, and that, in my opinion alone, is worth the 1% because it is a very heavy lift when you get into big money at the federal level.
Yes.
Which is why a lot of schools don't do it, which is why a lot of money is out there, which is what we want to take advantage of to give services and supports to our kids, different programming that we can sustain over time.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, any other?
I'll add that the only thing that we need to maybe talk about is what pool
Yes.
we want to fall in.
Yeah. So there are options for holding the funds, whether you want to hold them strictly in cash, which right now actually is making money, or if you want to invest the funds. And so we have a couple of different options, and in the fund agreement, it actually lays down some time horizons. That really looks at if you're intending on raising money in the funds and maybe letting them build, letting them sit for a little bit, that might affect how you want them to be invested, whether you want to go kind of more conservative versus kind of a more, less risk tolerant, more in the market. So that really depends on, you all and how you think that you'll be kind of administering, how quickly you think we'll be utilizing the grants. But there are also options to change the investment pool in the future. So should you pick one pool now and decide, 6 months from now that you want to change that, you can do so. And we have, I didn't bring them with me, but on BGCF's website, which is bgcf.org, we actually list all of our financial information, including all the investment returns and information about the different pools as well.
Jennifer, can you scroll up just a little bit so we can see what pools? No, they start there, yeah.
So there's a cash pool that is on just the bottom of that next page, of that first page there. And then it moves into the conservative, which is kind of the 3-year timeline, again, is kind of posted on there. Balanced is more of the 5-year, and then it kind of goes more long-term from there. And again, you're welcome to hold it in cash. Like I said, right now we're in cash and cash equivalents, and so the cash is seeing some returns from that. And then if you decided that you wanted to build this up a little bit more and take your time and grade making and things like that, then you can switch to it.
I'll motion to approve the establishment of a non-endowed designated fund with Bluegrass Community Foundation.
Motion by Mr. Dorsey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Yeah.
Thank you for coming and explaining
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
Consider approval of updated section 504 procedures.
I first wanted to brag on Dr. Hale. So Dr. Hale and one of our speech pathologists, Leah Webb, applied for the WHAS Crusade for Children grant, which is an organization out of Louisville that gives different funds to different folks that work with a variety of community organizations and things of that nature, not just education, but just different groups across the state and also in Southern Indiana. And so Dr. Hale supported Leah Webb. I think we'll probably recognize them when school starts. But Leah took this on as an initiative, and we were granted $15,000. And so we're going to start an assistive technology library. So not just our speech language pathologists, but our other related service providers and exceptional children instructors have the opportunity to come check something out before we purchase it, for our kids to have different ways to not just communicate, but learn, have different things for fine motor, gross motor, and also just different ways for our students to learn. So I just wanted to tell Dr. Hill thank you for helping, because we know it. So
Thank you.
So, the 504 procedures were updated in 2018 and also 2022. It comes straight from KSBA. Ms. Smith and I went back through, and we may have missed it because, we have mature eyes, but we did not see where they were updated in 2022. So just to be safe, we wanted to ensure that we had the most updated KSBA 504 procedures. So literally you just take it, plug in CCPS, Clark County Public Schools, and we rolled with it. And the formatting may not be the best, but these are the most recent procedures that we have.
Any questions?
No. I'll move that we approve the updated section 504 procedures.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
Second.
second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. The next thing that you have in front of you is just a compliance piece. We just have to have a board-approved list of those who could potentially chair ARC meetings or 504 meetings. We do have we are very blessed to have special education facilitators who do probably 99.9% of our ARC meetings, but there's always that emergency time where we may need to have a backup. Also with 504 meetings, we typically have our counselor complete most of those, but we wanted to have our facilitators and also myself to ensure that we're in compliance and offering folks support. That's all.
Any questions?
No, I make a motion to approve of ARC and 504 triggers for the 24-25 school year.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consider approval of BG4 for the Stroke Station Elementary Gym Floor Replacement Project. Brandon, I'll get over back. That's quick.
This is just the closeout paperwork that we have to submit to KDE for the gym floor at Strode, basically saying it's finished and we've paid the bills. So we just have to update that.
How's it look?
It looks fantastic.
Fantastic. Oh, who
Absolutely.
directed him? Me.
Great.
Any questions, comments? Well, we already have
I
comments.
make comments.
Okay. So, any questions? If not, would anybody like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion to approve the BG4 for Stroke Station Elementary Gym Floor Replacement Project.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of amendment to agreement between CCPS and Bluegrass Community Health Clinic. Brandon Watkins.
So we already have an agreement in place with the Bluegrass Community Health Clinic. They're leasing part of the building on Vaught Road. The other half of that building is their Cardinals Nest Daycare. And they're in the middle of renovating that other side and doing their clinic expansion. They were already in that building in a small spot, and they're making it a bigger spot. This amendment that you all have is to add to that agreement that they are also going to pay for 2 nurses, and those nurses would provide services for GRC and the preschool for next year. So we're super excited about it, and we'll be able to, kind of go above and beyond with some services for our kids that we're able to offer.
Any questions or comments? Anybody would like to make a motion?
Just real quick, for these 2 nurses, that's not replacing or like the nurses that are employed by Clark County Public Schools, it's not replacing anybody or?
Well, it is not replacing anybody. We had a couple folks leave, and we're just basically replenishing those through, in cooperation with the clinic.
We already had that conversation, but I thought we could
Yeah,
put it down,
yeah,
so.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome. I make a motion to approve the amendment to the agreement between Clark County Public Schools and Bluegrass Community Health Clinic.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Ms. Simmons. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider, are you going to be Jamie King?
I'm going to be Jamie Keene for the
You
next 2
have been
hours.
tonight. Consider approval of agreement with Cornerstone Diagnostics. Jamie King.
So, Mr. Keene is not feeling well tonight, and I hope he gets to feeling better, but this is to update and add in a new agreement for our drug testing that is within board policy. And the annual fee is $200. It would be to test 50 students 4 times a year. The grand total, and there's a per test cost, depending, if some had to get sent on for further testing at the lab, you're looking at about $9,000 to $10,000 per year to implement our drug testing policy that we have.
Now, is this the old home convalescent aids, or I don't never heard of them before. So.
No, this would just be, in the past, we have had an agreement with a different testing company and to do random drug testing.
Right.
And so this is just a new agreement with a different company to provide those services. Basically, per the board policy, we identify, we give them a list of all the kids involved in athletics, extracurriculars, student drivers, all of those things, and they randomly pick, a certain amount to do 4 times a year.
So they're not based in Winchester. They're
Russell Springs, Kentucky.
Correct.
Okay. I was confused. I was getting, because I saw our address, and that's why I was like, yeah, that just hadn't heard of it before. Is there a reason why we changed to a new?
I think the company we had used previously had sold and doesn't exist anymore.
That would be a good reason.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Would anybody like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the agreement with Cornerstone Diagnostics.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
Second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of non-resident student transfer registration form and non-resident student enrollment.
Okay, so this is I'm looking at my notes here, this is a procedural language change, and we did run this by KSBA, and they gave it their blessing. Basically, when a parent or student fills out a non-resident application, they, instead of basically may include prior attendance, behavior, and grades with the application, that we changed that to must. So we're asking them, when they fill out a non-resident form, that they have their attendance, grades, behavior to go along with that non-resident application. Other districts are also doing this, and currently, it takes us a while to get that information sometimes, and people are wanting a answer on approval or non-approval, so this kind of just helps speed up that process for
That was going to be my
folks.
question. When do we give them that notice? How, like, if they're waiting now to find out, when will they know if we've approved them to come into the district or not?
It really depends on when they apply. So we try to, the biggest thing for us is vetting the student, right? So this is why it's important, because right now they don't have to give us anything. So an example is, if a student is, I'll use the word fleeing another district because something terrible went wrong, if we approve it before we know about the student, right now they don't have to provide that. Then we could accidentally enroll somebody that may not be good for Clark County Public Schools, right? Timelines, really as soon as possible. It could be, usually we try not to do it till July 1, would be the earliest, but we would try to tighten it up by July 15th for anything that we get done before then.
Okay, and does that, so,
And now if they apply after July 15th, that's why I said it really depends on.
and this is for out of town that wants to come here, correct?
This is for out of district,
Out of district, okay.
Non-resident.
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 Yes.
So the ones that are in district that just want to go to a different school, I guess this would be mainly elementary schools.
That's a different paperwork they fill out, but
But
they
when do
request.
you decide on it before the beginning of school? Because I keep getting that question. So since we're here right now.
Gotcha, same timeline, we try to do it by mid-July, is what we shoot for.
Yeah, because I was asked that, and that's, somebody told me it was like supposed to be right before school started. I don't think they do it like then.
Yeah.
But is that, I mean, could it
Mo-
go that late?
It's pretty, I mean, that's.
Like,
Most of the time, they turn that paperwork into the DPP, and the DPP will then discuss with the principal for a CISA,
Is
which
it-
is a change in school assignment application, and then they would get approved. But usually, like Mr. Howard said, we try to get those in around the 1st, at the latest, kind of the 15th of July.
And it's still kind of debate, it's how many kids are enrolled in that school, because that's what I keep
Right.
telling, like, it just kind of depends on.
How many kids, our caps, rooms, things like that.
Right. So.
And really trying to work with both principals and the parents too.
Right, and trying to, but that's what you're waiting on a lot of times is the
Correct,
numbers.
is the numbers and.
I just kind of wanted to address that real
And
quick.
depending on the age and where we're at, and again, it could be that we're waiting on something because there's not room, but we do try to communicate that with the parents. Because if it's a no right now, but kind of prioritizing that.
If they're already there, like say I was there last year, or my kid was there last year, do you automatically send them back?
They have to fill out another application each year because numbers change.
Mhm.
So if we had an influx of students that lived in that district, they would get priority over kids that had been there through a request.
So it's basically based on numbers.
It's based on
So I
numbers.
am giving that right information. Okay. Just want to make sure. Sorry,
Numbers
Brandon,
or
didn't mean to
specific,
hijack
sometimes
that.
specific programming too.
Awesome.
So if a student had an IEP and had to have certain services, for instance, if it wasn't provided at a particular building, that would also impact it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm done. That's all I needed to ask. Does anybody else have any questions?
No.
If not, we know that's one motion.
Motion to approve the MOU with New Vista and CCPS. Oh wait, no, I'm not, sorry, one ahead of us here. Motion, the approval of the non-resident student transfer registration form and non-resident student enrollment, 9.12 AP.21.
Motion by Mr. Dorsey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You are.
Jumping
for,
ahead.
right?
Thank you all.
Okay. All right, motion carries 5-0. Okay, consider approval of an MOU with New Vista and CCPS. Thanks, Brendan, sorry.
Now we're here.
Good evening. Yeah, so I'm here to present a memorandum of understanding between New Vista and CCPS for consideration of approval. For the upcoming school year, we have had an agreement with this particular agency for several years. Basically, it allows this agency to come into our school buildings and provide mental health services and supports to students and families in that setting.
Any questions? Not, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Bennett, I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of an MOU with Mountain Home Care Center and CCPS.
Yeah, again, this is a memorandum of understanding between CCPS and Mountain Comprehensive Care Center to allow them to provide direct services to our students in our schools to address mental health needs.
Any questions? If not, would anybody like to make a motion? I'll make that motion. Anybody want to second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of an MOU with National Youth Advocate Program and CCPS.
Same thing. This is another memorandum of agreement. This one's between CCPS and the National Youth Advocacy Program to allow them to come into our schools and provide direct supports and services to our students for their mental health needs.
Any questions on this one?
I have a statement. So I asked that we pull out these MOUs because I'm an employee of National Youth Advocate Program, and I'm going to not vote on this, be disqualified as a voting member of the panel because it is my employer.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. So I will make a motion for that. Anybody want to second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Ms. Hall not voting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Downs.
Okay. Resolution.
Dr. Parrish.
Oh, there she is, in pretty and pink.
But you've got,
Oh. Do I have it? No, I haven't seen this one. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay. Consider approval of employee substitute teacher and coaches handbook. I don't know why that didn't show up for me, but
It's okay.
I didn't forget you, I promise.
It's all good. This is quick and easy anyways. This is just our annual update. There were no real major changes, just routine annual changes with some administrative updates. All three of them.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Parrish? Not, would anybody like to make a motion?
I will make the motion to approve the employees substitute teacher and coaches handbooks for 2024-2025.
All right, motion by Mr. Bennett,
second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you all.
Thanks. I was so excited for you, Alicia, see? I was trying to get you up here ahead of time.
Now she's pretty in pink.
No, I'm pretty. Consider approval of updated salary tables.
So these are a reflection of our work session last week where we discussed options for the extension to 30 years, and we chose to increase each step from 27 by 1%. So this is what that is a result of, for you to pass those for us to start the July 1 year with.
I think everybody got their questions answered before, but just in case, anybody got any questions? All right, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to approval of updated salary tables.
Motion by Ms. Simpkins,
Second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of carried forward request.
So I am requesting on behalf of the schools to basically have the board set aside carry forward monies from this year. So we have some deadlines approaching when it comes to our ESSER dollars and our Title I dollars, and we have one ESSER is going away and we have to spend it by September 30th or we lose it. In title monies, you have a carryover limit of a 15%. Well, because we've had all of these dollars, we have excess Title I funding that they are not going to waive that carryover this year as they have waived it in past years. So what we are going to do is take general fund allocated teaching positions and flip them into all of the school's grant funds to spend up those grant funds by the deadlines. But essentially, those are dollars that they need given back to them in the form of general fund dollars now, so that they can carry forward those and use them on their teaching staff that they would have used in their grants. But we're just meeting some hard deadlines that we cannot go past. So it's a pretty significant amount of money for each school. So I've listed that at the bottom of each school's page and indicated what those are. We normally only do section 6 carry forward, is what you all are used to seeing from us, which is minimal in most cases. So we just have to basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Commit. We have to commit these dollars for our schools to then divvy back out to them in the new budget year. So this is the max amount that it could be. We still have, we just processed our final payroll today, so some of these numbers will go down due to already payroll in them. So they might change just a little bit, but I listed the maximum amount it would be by the time I had to get these documents to you. So it will not exceed this dollar amount. So we just have to do a formal for audit purposes and paperwork trail that we're committing those dollars to move forward.
Any questions from Ms. Ellis? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bennett. I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Acknowledgement of monthly CCBS financial update.
So in looking at our finances for May compared to this time last year, we are exactly 73%, which is the same in our receipts at this time last year. We're 64% in our expenditures compared to 60% last year, but that is not a significant percentage different, but also to be expected with increased enrollment and growing a lot of our programs this year. When you're looking at our local tax dollars, we are looking good on that. I just pulled the final numbers, well, not final, but the numbers we had as of right now, and we are at 97% for motor, so we have increased that. That's been kind of the one lagging on us for a little bit. And we're at 89% for our franchise property tax and 99% for our property tax. So we'll still see some things come in July that we end up booking back to June for the last June payment, but most of the time they won't arrive till mid to end of July for us to do that. So I'm confident we will be very, very close to our 100% budget, if not over, once all the July payments come in for June.
Any other questions? Oh, that's just an acknowledgement. Okay. Authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable.
I make a motion to,
Pay bills.
yes.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Ellis. I'm going to do a 5-minute recess here because I need to get Ms. Smith to print me out Mr. Howard's evaluation form.
I have it.
You have it? Okay, well, I'm going to do a 5-minute recess real quick.
Okay.
And then,
Okay, that works.
thank you. You have what Beth session at 7:32 PM. Internal board business, that's where I'm at, right?
Yes.
Okay. Consider approval of local planning committee member appointment. I believe we had six
Yes.
people apply for that. And Becky, do we need to read all 6 names or just
Just the
ones that were?
ones you've selected.
Okay. If anybody would like to make a motion on that.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Meredith Guy, Greg Yates, and Cameron Correll to be the community representatives for the LPC.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bennett, second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Acknowledgement of Superintendent Dustin Howard's evaluation. So I will read his evaluation, the narrated version, I guess, so that Mr. Floyd helped prepare for us. The Clark County Board of Education has completed the evaluation of Superintendent Dustin Howard for the 2023-2024 school year, deeming it positive for education in our school district. The evaluation focused on 7 standards of performance and goals for the district as set forth in board policy. Superintendent Howard received a rating of exemplary, 4 out of 4 on 5 of the 7 standards in the areas of strategic leadership, instructional leadership, managerial leadership, collaborative leadership, and influential leadership, and a rating of accomplished 3 out of 4 on the remaining 2 standards, cultural leadership and human resource leadership. The board will work with Superintendent Howard over the coming weeks to develop goals for our district for the 2024-2025 school year, and the board looks forward to working with Superintendent Howard for continued success and growth for the Clark County Public School District. For the upcoming 2024-2025 school year, the board encourages Superintendent Howard to focus on continued growth in the areas of instructional leadership and cultural leadership. And we would really like to thank you for all your hard work and everything you've put forth in the last year, because it has been amazing, and I think it shows with 5 exemplary. So we are truly proud to have you. Your pen, because I need to sign this for him really
What's that?
good.
Go Cards.
Yeah, go Cards.
Hey, good job, man. That's good. Mr. Dorsey, I mean, it's fine.
Today is the Here you go, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You gotta give my pen back.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
not mine.
I only steal Mr. Howard's. I should have put that in there. He always has awesome pens.
I think, yeah, always has.
Yeah. 4 out of 4 on the pens.
Yes.
Ms. Simpkins would like everyone to know she gave him all 5s. Even though they don't offer those. Consider approval of the annual Kentucky School Board Association, I don't know why I just said that, KSBA 2024 Procedure and Policy Update, first reading.
So this is the, during our work session, I gave you guys a big packet to kind of look over and look at. I know I took a couple calls today, just asking questions. This is the first read, so any kind of modifications that you guys want to make this our version versus which presented to you is literally KSBA's revised copies they send to every single district. And then from there, it still is a local decision on approving them exactly as given to us, or if there's certain tweaks or changes you guys want to make because we're the local educational authority on the
Just, you will need to decide on the policy, I think it's 092242 on the medical cannabis. It's either a yes or a no.
I've spoken to several constituents, and there is a consensus that they feel that we should vote no on having the option of the medical cannabis in the schools. They all agree that it is they felt it was unsafe for the other children in the school. Just felt like that's something that parents can do at home. So my constituents, that's what I'm hearing.
What are the nurses saying about?
Is it allowing it, or is it allowing people to administer?
Allowing it to be administered at school, which
Yeah.
would fall to your school.
Yeah, that's,
So I talked to Mr. King and Mr. Watkins, and they're just kind of straw taking with, they don't feel super comfortable with it. It's, there's an issue with, not an issue, but there could be problems with how to get it there. Is it all there, storing it? Is it been broken into? And then really, there's certain things you want to lead the way on, and this is not one that I would recommend leading the way on. It's pretty early.
so your recommendation is no.
My recommendation would be no.
Okay. All right.
I have just a couple of questions so I can understand it. And I did call Mr. Howard about something that I'll talk about in a few minutes, but there's some new verbiage about having to prominently display summative assessment results, so each school will have to decide how they're going to do that. Is that?
So we're already working as a district with Ms. Fitton, and actually, Ms. Hale, Dr. Hale has taken the lead on some of this to make sure it's uniformed and we're displaying exactly, I think it has to do with reading proficiency and math proficiency, overall academic performance ranking.
Ranking, it has to be in 16-point font and banner format.
So it's very specific on.
Yes, yep.
So we're working on getting that up in every place that we're legally required. I think the big ones are websites. It has to be on the district, and then individual scores has to be posted on individual school websites as well. So that will be, now, we're still, we have to rely on when they get us that information, not only the first time, but then it's embargoed, and then we have to do data checks. So that will be available on the press release date. That's when folks will see that on our websites, is when it's unembargoed for the public.
And the next one.
Yes, good, yes.
Yes, is under the safety, and is talking about school mapping data, and so what I understand, that, is this so that first responders know where to go in the school, within the school?
Correct, so we have to actually, and we've already done this, our Chief Mullick has done a good job with our police force. It even gets into mapping specific doors by marking, so we'll have like M1, M2, so it's not just,
Go through this door.
yes.
And
So
proceed
all of
to
those
this
are marked not
place.
only on the map, but they're marked actually on the physical door. So when the police department get there, once they're mapped, they'll know what door they're at based on how they're marked on the outside.
Yeah.
And we had to actually redo it once we did the outdoor, the tinning, because the tinning was gonna cover it up, so we put them back on the outside. Again, double safety precaution. And I've already met with the Emergency Operations Center, the OC, with both chief of police and the sheriff, and both fire departments, and working with our principals to go ahead and start reassessing our maps and making sure that our evacuation procedures and such are updated for next year.
Then the next one is talking about a portable AED in each school. In the past, it's been just like stadiums in the middle of high school. So now it's saying that we need to have one in each school. So are we already there, or do we have to purchase the AED?
We're already there.
Awesome. Great. I thought
And we actually have them on, we have multiple at the high school and multiple at different sports facilities as well. And again, a lot of that came through partnerships with our community. So I want to give them a shout out being ahead of the game.
And there's a bunch of information about bus drivers' rights and responsibilities, and I know that it's new legislation, so they're adding in what the legislators passed into the policies. And so my understanding is, if there's something that happens with, it gives the drivers a little bit more, I don't know, power, I don't know if that's the right word, but if there's something going on their bus that's not going right, then they have a little more decision in how to, like, not let them get hit back on the bus.
Correct, and we've actually, I've talked to Darren Snell yesterday, our transportation director, and we're gonna hit training big time on that. Professional development, we're actually working with Ms. Nelson left, but multi-MTSS procedures, you hear about those in the schools all the time, multi-tier supports and services, actually doing that for the bus. We're also refining discipline, referrals, and how buildings, principals, I was on the phone with Josh Mounts yesterday to get some advice on that. So we're really trying to get ahead of some of that legislation, because we want to hold kids accountable, we also want to make sure we're doing the right things by kids.
I earmarked the ones about the harmful to minors complaint resolution process. It looks like they've added some verbiage to that. And I know we talked a little bit about that last school year when we created the policies, but there's like a process that the family, if a guardian or parent has an issue with something that's being taught. Correct.
Then they would fill out the request, and then there's a procedure and committees that they go through.
I read through this regularly, so I just wanted, there's just things I felt was important.
Sure.
There's also we're gonna be required to have an anonymous reporting tool that allows students, parents, and community members to anonymously supply information concerning unsafe, potentially harmful, dangerous, violent, or criminal activities, or the threat of these activities to appropriate public safety agencies and school officials. It's an anonymous reporting tool. So.
We have the reporting tip line that's on our website for bullying and things like that, unsafe environment. And they actually, we don't monitor that, an outside agency does, and when they get something, they send it straight, usually to the DPP.
Another thing I'm really excited to see, well, it's not excitement, but the importance of lowering for suicide prevention for training, and they're lowering the grade level for that. Talking about suicide prevention is not going to make someone commit or complete suicide, but having the knowledge and so forth. As a trained mental health professional, I have seen as young as first grade having, children having suicidal ideation. So it does happen that young. It's not something that happens all the time, but the verbiage for that is very good. They've really added some good, strong language for that. I'm almost done.
No, you're fine.
And then this is the medical cannabis one we have to vote on. And then I think the last one is the one I called Mr. Howard on. It's on the very back page, and it's in regard to, it's specifically about KRS, which is Kentucky Revised Statute 158.148. And this has to do with bullying. For some reason, and I'm not 100% why, but KSBA has marked out, so I'm going to read it. It's a student code of acceptable behavior and discipline based on statewide student discipline guidelines provided by the Kentucky Department of Education that shall be posted at each school, referenced in all school handbooks, and provided to school employees, parents, legal guardians, and then they have marked out or other persons exercising custodial control or supervision. What I'm very concerned about as a person who works for a foster care agency, foster care parents are not legal guardians of the children that they take care of. They're actually, they are persons exercising custodial control or supervision. And so I make the recommendation that we not strike that out. And the way I understand Mr. Howard is that it's something that we can say that we do not want to. And I looked up the KRS, and it's still in the KRS. So that's my strongly encourage us to not take that out. We have a lot of foster care parents in Clark County. We have a lot of foster care children in Clark County, and we have a lot of fictive kin, which that could also apply to fictive kin in the event they don't have legal guardianship, because Department for Community Services might still have that guardianship. I'm done with my dissertation.
No, and again, when this all I talk, I completely agree. I mean, even in my time, we had a student that lived with us for a while, and I had educational and medical rights. But if you take that out, then I didn't have legal guardianship of the kid, so I wouldn't be able to be an active participant, and the school wouldn't be able to call me on the bullying things years ago. But
right. And so when it comes to educational rights, such as an IEP, that sort of thing, biological parents, they are the ones that have to be contacted first. And this is about behavior in the school.
Yes. And
parents, if a child is in foster care or fictive kin placements, their biological parents are not going to be around them on an everyday basis. And so you need those people who are with them every day to exercising custodial control or supervision, but you need them involved in these situations. And children that this might apply to, they're going to have a higher rate of behavioral issues just due to the nature of the trauma they've experienced. I could go on and on.
And that's why you're so mad.
Oh, well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Because, I mean, well, you bring this knowledge that
Yeah.
the rest of us would not know, so I'm fine with leaving that in there personally. I mean, I think if Ms. Hall recommends that, I can definitely go with that.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's a population that needs more than almost anybody that support.
So how do we need to do the vote on the yes, no first?
Someone could make a motion to approve the first reading with a vote of no on that cannabis policy and with keeping that language in on policy 09, it's 09438, right, Ms. Hall? Yes, yes, and I can make the motion so I can state it. Yes, it's that, yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the first reading of the policies, except for policy 809.438, and we would like to keep in the language or other persons exercising custodial control or supervision in the fifth line. And in regards to medical cannabis, I make a motion to say, the board prohibits the use of medical cannabis on school property.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Consider approval of board members to attend the KSBA Summer Leadership Institute in Bowling Green, Kentucky on July 18th through the 20th.
I make a motion to.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
There's some exciting, it's going to be different. There's the new KDE person will be there, the new leader will be there, and they've made it more, it's not just your basic. There's like more variety.
I know, I noticed when I was looking
Yeah.
at the classes, it does seem like it's gonna be.
Yeah, it'll be different from the same old.
Same old. And what's really good about these conferences in state is we get to meet people from all over the state and hear about their districts and how they're doing things. So,
Yes. I'll second that, Dolly. Or did you second it, Billy? I can't remember.
No, you.
Okay, I second it. You seconded it the one before,
Yeah.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0. Superintendent's report.
Okay, a couple things to share out on. First, the first 3 weeks of the literacy liftoff at Shear has gone fantastic. Visited a couple times. We've got almost 160 K through second graders that are being provided supports and services to close reading gaps. There's not, most of the classrooms have 8 students or less. They're rotating around, they're doing things with Gordon Gillingham with phonics and really killing phonics, not just memorizing the worksheets, but using the entire curriculum. They had me tapping, sounding out, we danced, we did some movement breaks. Ms. Crosby's coming in to write down a couple things. Hopefully she doesn't release that too much. But again, making reading fun again, and again, giving kids extra extended school services in a way that we've never done in Clark County. The second half of that will be at Strode Station. It'll start the week of July 8th, so that'll be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you guys are interested to come hang out with us, I love visiting. I'm not sure if the teachers love when I'm there because I can disrupt some things. But the kids sure like it. So that's gone fantastically. We're also planning an administrative retreat to KSA for all of our principals and directors. That'll be in Louisville in July the 24th, I think is our date. So we're doing kind of in-house training again. If you guys want to be involved with that or just visit or come hang out for a little while, I think it's important that, and I've talked to a couple of you, really continue to build relationships because we do have a young group of administrators, and I think it's important that you know them and they know you, frankly. The other thing, that is on Wednesday, July 23rd. So right after Bowling, so leave Bowling Green its way up and City. The other thing, the book bus has been a gigantic success. Is Kristen still here? How many books are we giving away? Somebody told me 1,200 in 7 days.
I know Friday was like just alone on Friday was 160 7, just on that Friday.
So we actually have Fox 56 going to come and do a news story on it next week. We're extremely excited about that because, again, we're giving a ton of resources away to kids. That schedule's out, so if you haven't seen that, check all of our information on social media. So great job on the book bus. Also, gigantic news out of the world of bass fishing. All right, so Bryce Alfrey and Elijah Coleman, 2024 Student Angler Federation High School Fishing World Final Champions. So they actually, I may have snuck them in the board office last night and brought the trophy in. They may have set up here and did an interview with 56 that may come out tomorrow, possibly. So keep an eye on that. We had lots of go-karts. Big thanks to Billy Dameron, our bass fishing coach and wrangler. You can say that too. So along with that, and I made sure he sent me this so I get this right, they completed along with 438 teams, 438 teams from 41 states and 2 countries for the title.
Oh, wow.
It gets more exciting. Brace yourself. I mean, it's coming. They also received scholarship offers from multiple schools to choose from, ranging from $12,000 each to a whopping $100,000 to continue their education.
Wow.
And again, a lot of this is because of their hard work. A lot of this is because of Mr. Dameron's hard work and also Montgomery County's coach and their student athlete. We want to celebrate them as well. But also from the board, because as some of you may or may not, well, most of you don't, you actually purchased a boat for the bass team a few years ago. And again, you think you and I are the only one. So again, we pour into our kids so we can celebrate, and this is another example of a different way to connect with our students. They showed up big time, and I could not be more proud. With that said, the only reason he wasn't here tonight is they got in really, really late. We had him here for the commercial, and we really want to do this right. We got the dead period for the next couple of weeks where we're planning something to celebrate him within the community too. So this was kind of my way of rolling it out officially, but it's not the big thing. So we've been in contact with the parents and the families to make sure they know that as a community we'll celebrate this big time. So, I'll leave anything out? Did I do all right? Boom, go Cards. I think that's all I had for today.
Where was this competition at? This fishing, where was it?
It was Lake Hartwell and Anderson, South Carolina.
You're awesome, Billy.
Yes, thank you.
The amount of scholarships and everything that you produce, I need you to take my kids on. They're coming your way, buddy. All right. Anything you're done?
That's all I've got for this month.
All right. Consent agenda items. No, well, I'm not going through all of them. So anybody want to make a motion on the consent or need to pull anything off?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Billy is on top of the game tonight. All right, Billy makes a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
A second.
Second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Ms. Hall makes a motion to adjourn. Second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are adjourned at 7:56 p.m.